Hey, Chris Grove back at you with another film review. Today we are doing Don't Go to Sleep from 1982. Don't Go to Sleep is directed by Richard Lang, produced by Aaron Spelling. Stars Dennis Weaver as Philip, Valerie Harper as Laura, Robin Ignico as Mary, Oliver Robbins as Kevin, Kristen Cumming as Jennifer, and Ruth Gordon as Bernice. Alright, so this is a horror film that Ari Aster would make today if we were making made-for-TV horror films. Deals with family drama, deals with a lot of grief, unchecked grief, alcoholism, and all set around a haunted house with the address 13666. Never buy a house with that address. 13666 is not a good address. The film opens with kind of a interesting cutaway. It's kind of like a children's wind-up toy clock, the chime music playing, like din 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 din. Then you kind of cut to a couple driving, and they're moving into their new home. This family, and this family is headed by Philip and Laura, and that would be, of course, Dennis Weaver and Valerie Harper. And their two kids, Robin Ignico, Mary, and Kevin. And with them is Bernice. That would be Laura's mother, or the grandmother to the children. So, anyway, they had a tragedy that we unravel throughout the film. There was a car accident and an explosion, or the car caught on fire and exploded. And their oldest daughter, who is the apple of everyone's eye, including Bernice, perished in the fire. And it is we finally get the flashbacks. We get a little bit of it, of the story at a time, but at the end the last act, there is a flashback scene of oh my, okay, that's what happened. And it's one of those things where this movie's a slow burn. Why I feel like a made-for-TV horror film from 1982 is worth talking about is because, well, someone is haunting this house. So they moved into this new house, 13666, with that address. And young Mary, who's guilt-ridden over her older sister, starts having nightmares. And the bed catches on fire, and certain things happen. Then the ghost, supposed ghost of her sister, Jennifer, reveals itself to her. And she's like, holy crap, as we all would be. Scared at first, but then kind of happy to see her, because, hey, my sister, It culminates into, there was a prank, because out of jealousy and the fact that Jennifer was the popular one, there was a prank. And Dad is drunk driving. Bernice is not living with them at this time. This is before Jennifer passes away, but they're driving home from Grandma's house. And the kids, Kevin and Mary, notice that Jennifer's fallen asleep in the backseat of the car. And so they tie her shoelaces together, because that was a prank we all did in the early 80s. But Philip has had one too many martinis, and they almost crash into a car, and he crashes into a fence thing. And anyway, they all have to get out of the car because it's about to blow up, because apparently gas is leaking. And I don't know if this would actually happen in real life, but the way they frame it, it looks pretty plausible. So they all get out, except for Jennifer, who's got her shoelaces tied. And boom, the car catches on fire and blows up. And Jennifer, of course, is no longer with us. So this could be the ghost of Jennifer, or it could be a vengeful spirit, since, the house is 13666. Disguising itself, perhaps, as Jennifer. And she slowly starts to convince Mary that the rest of the family needs to die too. And one by one, they kind of start dying. They start, an accident happens. I'm going to do kind of spoilers in this one. I don't know how much I want to spoil, but accidents start to happen. Things, Grandma, there's a thing with a lizard. There's a lizard an iguana named Ed, who's Kevin's pet. And someone puts Ed on Grandma's chest as she's sleeping, and she has a heart attack, and she wakes up in the middle of the night. Kevin goes to fetch a frisbee that he and Mary are playing frisbee in the driveway before Dad gets home, and has to go up on the roof to get it, and looks by a window, sees something, screams, and falls off the roof. So these are the types of accidents that occur in this film. And I'm not going to go over each and every one, but it kind of sets the tone of what's going on. And what makes this movie scarier than Poltergeist, and speaking of Poltergeist, Kevin, played by Oliver Robbins. Oliver Robbins was in Poltergeist. He was the kid from Poltergeist. He was little Robbie Freeling in Poltergeist. Poltergeist is a fun movie, and it's scary, I guess, but it's scary in that grand Hollywood, Steven Spielberg, Tobe Hooper kind of, look at the spectacle of the ghost coming down the stairs and the use of light and special effects and all this stuff. This movie is way more grounded, way more personal in the haunting, because it's allegedly a deceased family member doing the haunting. And people actually die in this movie. No one died in Poltergeist. No one got killed, I can recall, in Poltergeist. In this one, this is a made-for-TV movie, came out the same year, 1982, as Poltergeist. And you got the family perishing like it's a Friday the 13th movie, or Halloween or something, It's pretty poignant. It kind of sends a message. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, they didn't screw around with made-for-TV movies. This reminds me of Dark Night of the Scarecrow, for example, with Charles Durning. Just haunting images, not a lot of gore, just haunting images. And uses of light and shadow, and kids with creepy smiles on their face, and pictures, and kids rising up from the bed as you wake up at the foot of your bed going, scary stuff. Kind of unsettling. We didn't have that in Poltergeist. So, you'll never see a little girl with a little, Princess Leia, braids, but a little higher up on her head, kind of doing her thing. Little high, Princess Leia buns, just smiling. It's just really unsettling. It's just really, really unsettling. And this movie doesn't have rats in it like the last one. So this is one that it's actually kind of difficult for me to watch alone, because this is a movie that you actually want to play off of people. This one, one of these days I'm going to bring a guest on here and talk about movies like this. In fact, I'll probably talk about this movie to someone who's never seen that before, have them watch it, and talk about that with them. I think that would be a great idea, actually. So if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You definitely know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Ruth Gordon is top notch as the grandmother. She's got that kind of cranky thing going on. Philip is great. The characters are, they're a family, and they're a dysfunctional family. Philip is an alcoholic. He likes martinis, and I get it. I like martinis too, from time to time. Did they used to be a problem for me at a certain time in my life? Yes, they were. And, I've gotten past that. But, I still have to watch myself, around. If I consume any alcohol, it's usually wine and, occasional martini. So, have to watch myself a little bit. And did his character hit home for me? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he uses those martinis after a long day at the office, and to kind of check out, as a lot of us do. And he's not above drinking and driving, as we see in the beginning of the movie. But they're trying to make a fresh start. They get a new job and a new house with a new address, 13666. I'm sorry, the address is just way too obvious. Come on, man. Could it be any more evil? Could more evil come from this household than that? So of course this is going to be a haunted house movie with an address like that. And, Poltergeist didn't even have that address, I don't think. Which is probably why they fare a little better there. And this one it plays on grief and loss. And their actors were, both the adult actors, both Dennis Weaver and Valerie Harper, break down. After certain members of their family have passed away, they're like, we can't, Philip's like, I can't take this anymore. She's like, oh, you can't take it. I've been taking the burden out of all this. I've been taking the heat for everything. I need you to at least clean out this room. Can you clean out this room? Just this one room, please. He's like, yeah, okay. But it's just so real. It's so authentic. And Dennis Weaver and Valerie Harper, she played Rhoda, and of course, and she's been other made-for-TV movies of this era. Same with Dennis Weaver. Been a lot of TV movies. He was in Duel, which was the first Steven Spielberg movie. Could spit that one out. But yeah, Steven Spielberg's first movie was a made-for-TV film called Duel, which I might cover here eventually. And Duel is it's just a traveling salesman and a truck and a menacing truck driver that you can't see tormenting this guy because he cut him off at one point earlier in the film or something. It's just one of those type of deals. But Dennis Weaver is great with drama. Valerie Harper is great with drama and comedy. But they both shine in these dramatic roles. And again, the performances are so authentic. And again, Ruth Gordon's got that kind of crusty old broad, kind of old grandma, kind of smokes too much, probably drinks a little, At one point she's calling out Dennis Weaver on his drinking, and he's like, I'm making martinis. She's like, okay, well, you want to join me? And, well, I'll have a sidecar. I'm not making sidecars, I'm making martinis. And then they kind of taunt each other, which leads to her going back to her room as Dennis Weaver's saying, hey, how about one more for the road, Bernice? One more for the road. Because before his accident that took the life of Jennifer, she said, here, one more for the road. So that's my Ruth Gordon impression anyway. So Ruth Gordon is great in this. Kevin, Oliver Robbins is great. Mary and Jennifer is creepy as hell, especially with her freakish smile. But let's talk about Mary for a minute, because Mary, played by Robin Ignico, is amazing. She is feeling rage, guilt, anger, everything in between. They have her see a shrink at one point, and she's got that very kind of cherubic look of on her face. A lot of just creepy kid faces in this movie, mainly from Jennifer, but some with Robin as well. And toward the end, whoever thought that a pizza cutter might be a possible weapon? So we have that also. So yeah, it is a scary made-for-TV movie, done very well, and directed with great competence by Richard Wang. Again, this could be a theatrical release. Ned Wynn was on the IMDb. Ned Wynn is the writer of this, and he said whoever, it could have been him, it could have been an imposter, who knows, but he was on the IMDb message board, and he said he was actually trying to make this into a theatrical release, and he was still working on it, but I don't know if that'll ever happen at this point. But this was like back in 2008 or something, so it's been a minute. But it's a great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it and want to check it out again, people post it a lot here on YouTube. And it's a made-for-TV movie, so less strict on the copyright laws and all that good stuff. So yeah, check out Don't Go to Sleep from 1982. By the way, late 70s, early 80s had a lot of titles with "don't" in them. Don't go to sleep. Don't go in the woods. Don't go in the house. Don't answer the phone. He knows you're alone. So this is one of those titles, but it's a really good movie. So check it out. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And I'm Chris Grove. And remember, life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived, so live it. Catch you next time.